Yo, what's up, guys? Hey, in this video, I'm about to play it right now on the next screen, but it's a training that we did for our team, and it's going to be around how to pitch so good a prospect can't say no. And there's going to be some nuances in this training that you're going to want to go over multiple times to make sure that you're locking the prospect down to the result that they say they want. And if you follow this process, to the T, guys, this is going to help you close a lot more deals in your sales process. Okay, so I'm going to play this video right now. Let's crush it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I have a really good video for you today, guys. Please watch it to the end because I know that this will help you crush a lot of deals going forward. All right, so the topic of today's training, guys, is how to pitch so a prospect can't say no. Okay, how to pitch so a prospect can't say no. And realize this, guys, before I go any further, of course, our jobs as closers is not to get people to say yes, right? That's not our jobs. Our jobs as closers is to get people to make a decision. And if somebody is not a good fit, then we tell them they're not a good fit and say, hey, sayonara, see you later. You're not a good fit. Here's something else that'll be better for you. But with that being said, how to pitch so a prospect can't say no. Let's first start, guys, with number one, why do people say no in the first place? Why would somebody say, hey, you know what, man, I got to, think about it, or hey, man, I got to go talk to my wife, or hey, man, I got to go, do X, Y, Z. Well, if you break it down, guys, in its simplest form, there's only two reasons why somebody is going to say no to you, right? And those two reasons is something they don't believe, right? Another way of saying that is they don't trust you, or it's something they don't understand, which means they don't understand the value, right? Because, guys, listen, this is the only two reasons why somebody says no over the phone. I mean, this is it. If somebody has complete trust in you, guess what? They're going to believe everything you say. And if somebody believes everything you say, it's a no-brainer to buy, right? Because when you're over the phone, you're saying, dude, honestly, man, this course is going to help you, get your first deal in the first 30 days. That first deal is going to be between, $10,000 to $30,000. If they believe you, guess what? They're like, man, that's awesome. Like, that's great. That's a lot of value, right? But if they don't believe you, and if you haven't established a trust, guess what? They're going to still be skeptical. They're like, $10,000 to $20,000. That seems like a little too high. I don't know if I really believe that, right? So something they don't believe or something they don't understand, right? If anybody is confused or overwhelmed on the call, guys, guess what? They're not going to buy because they don't understand the value of what you're offering. So even though they believe you and they trust you and they say, wow, you know what? I do think that this is going to be, a great way to make an extra $10,000 a month. If they don't understand how you're going to help them do it, then guess what? They're not going to buy because they're going to be confused. And they're going to be like, well, I can see how it's going to like maybe provide 10,000 a month, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to get that money, right? So that's why as closers, our job is to A, establish massive trust, and then B, establish massive clarity so the prospect understands. All right. Now, our job, right, guys, during the pitch, very, very simple. And in fact, closing, guys, the more that I'm in this industry and the more that I watch phone calls and the more that I look at consumers' behavior, I realize our job is just so simple. Like closing is very, very simple, guys, when you like the concept of it. But I think we try to make it so complicated because, that's just human nature. We try to overcomplicate everything. But really, guys, at the end of the day, our job during the pitch is one thing. We're going to tie value to the prospect's problem so they know without a shadow of a doubt that if they purchase, the one problem they have will be fixed forever. I mean, that's it, guys. That's it in a nutshell. Our job during the pitch is just this right here. And so how we're going to accomplish this, guys, is literally in just a two-step formula, okay? And this is so powerful. I'm telling you right now, guys, if you understand this concept during the pitch, it's going to be very, very hard for somebody to say no at the end of the call because you've done your job as a closer in two areas. Okay, so here is the formula for a winning pitch every single time. And guys, I've seen a lot of phone calls. I've reviewed a lot of pitches. I've seen a lot of different sales, calls over the years. And I'm telling you guys, this is a two-step formula to make sure that when you pitch, people cannot say no at the end of the call. Because if they do say no, they're going to say no during the pitch. and they're not going to say no at the end of the call, if that makes sense. So step one to an amazing pitch, guys, is first off, you're going to restate the prospect's problem in their own words. First step is restate the prospect's problem in their own words and get them to confirm that's the problem, right? So this makes them know you completely understand their situation, which means now you know how to fix their situation. Okay. So for example, guys, whatever you're selling, when you go into the pitch, you're going to restate the prospect's problem in their own words. The way you're going to do that is very, very simple. You're going to say, hey, John, earlier in the call, I know you said that you haven't gotten your first real estate deal because A, you're not sure exactly how to find the properties. And B, you're really scared, John, that if you do, purchase a property, you don't want to make a mistake and you don't want to lose your money. Did I hear you correctly, John? And he's going to be like, dude, that's exactly it, right? So you restate the prospect's problem. And then once they say, hey, that's exactly it, man. Then you solve. Step two is you solve that problem with your pitch by using tie-down statements as you explain the pillars for success. So let me show you how this works, guys. It's very, very powerful, but it's also very, very simple. So I restated John's problem, right? Hey, John, earlier you said that, you haven't gotten your first real estate deal because A, you're not sure exactly how to find the properties, and B, you're just really scared about making a mistake. So you want to mentor somebody that can guide you to make sure that you don't lose your own money. Is that correct? Okay, awesome, John. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, so John, let me tell you this, man. Inside our real estate university, there's going to be 3 pillars that you're going to have massive success, and I think that are going to help you. Pillar number 1, John, is our online education piece. Okay, and this piece, John, is established by Thatch. This is his 30 years of experience in the real estate investing business. And what this is going to do, John, is give you every tool you need to do 2 things. A, to find those properties, John, those off-market properties, so that way you know exactly where to go to find them, how to find them, and make it a predictable system. And then B, John, we're going to make sure through this university that when you find those properties, you don't lose your money because you worked hard for it and you deserve success. Okay? And we do it through our online education piece. Does that make sense, John? I want to make sure before I go any further that makes sense to you, John, and that the online education piece you feel like is going to be a beneficial piece to your success in real estate investing. Okay, so what did I do there, guys? I literally, if I'm pulling up the course, I'm showing them the university, but then I tied the value to John's problems, right? I said, hey, John, this university is going to help you do 2 things. A, find those off-market deals because that's what he wants, right? That's what he said his problem is finding the off-market deals and not losing money. And then I'm saying also, John, the big thing that you have to realize with this university, the reason why we created it is also to help make sure that you do not lose your money in the process because you worked hard for it and you deserve success. Okay, so that's all I did, guys, in that pitch is I literally tied the value of the university to John's problem, right? And you can do the same for any course, guys. Let's just say you're selling Onyx Signal and you're selling a coaching program. You're going to restate the prospect's problem in their own words. Hey, John, earlier in the conversation, you said that, man, your biggest hurdles right now are marketing. You're just not sure exactly how to market your product to the outside world. And also, you also said, John, that you're not sure exactly what products to pick to promote on the e-commerce, in the e-commerce space. Is that exactly right? He's going to be like, yeah, that's right. Okay, awesome. Well, hey, John, let me tell you about Onyx program, Marketplace Mastery, or, the coaching program for Marketplace Mastery. There's really going to be 3 pillars for your success, John. The first pillar is going to be our online education piece. And John, that online education piece is going to help you do 2 things. It's going to help you find the exact products that you're going to want to promote in the e-commerce space. And then it's also going to help you with the marketing to make sure that, John, once you have that winning product, now we can really light that product on fire with the marketing right through Onyx Signal and David, having them in your corner, showing you every step of the way. Now, John, I want to make sure, does that make sense to you, John? And do you think that'll provide value for you going forward in the online education piece? So guys, it's the same formula. I restate John's problems, and then I tie the value to John's problems. So I say, hey, he told me he wants marketing. He told me he wants the product. So then I show him, hey, John, in the online education piece, what you're going to get is you're going to get the exact products to promote, and you're also going to get the marketing behind it to fuel those products. And then what I do, guys, and here's the kicker, right? You tie the prospect down to make sure that they understand the value. And the way that you do this is you say, hey, John, I just want to make sure before I go on to the next pillar for your success that that makes sense to you and that you feel like that's going to help you. Right? That's so important, guys, because if John says, if he agrees with you and he nods your head and he says, you know what, Trish, or you know what, Mike, or if you know what, Jacob, that makes sense to me and I can see how that's going to help me, then boom, you move on to the next pillar in the pitch. But before you do that, you get a confirmation from the prospect that, yes, this is exactly what I want. And yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for in the product. Because if you do that throughout the entire pitch, guys, when you get down to asking for money, they can't say no because now you've literally tied them down every stage of the pitch, confirming that A, they see the value, confirming that they understand, and confirming that this is going to solve their problem. Does that make sense? And that's what you do in the pitch, just over and over and over again, tying them down. John, does that make sense to you? I want to make sure before I go any further that you see the value in that. Hey, no, hey, you know what, Richard? That makes sense to me, man. I can see the value, how that's going to help me. Great, John. Let me move on to our next pillar of success for you. That's going to be our private, support group. And then in the support group, they're going to hold you accountable. They're going to make sure that you're setting the right goals. We're going to keep you accountable to your targets and make sure, John, they're going to have massive success in the online space with accountability, with support from Thatch or from Onyx Signal, from Jeremy, right? Hey, let me ask you this, John. Do you see value in that? Do you think by having, Thatch in your corner, having somebody behind you, holding you accountable every step of the way, answering your questions, do you think that's going to be beneficial for you? Oh, yeah, I think so. That's going to be really beneficial for me. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Great, John. I'm glad that I'm glad that you said that. Well, hey, let me move on to your third pillar of success. So, guys, if you're getting what I'm saying, it's a very simple formula. Restate the prospect's problem, tie the solution to their problem, and do not move forward in the pitch until you confirm that they see the value in what you're offering. That way, if they do have any objections, they bring it up during the pitch and you can solve it during the pitch and not solve it at the end when they bring up the objection. If you follow this, guys, I promise you, you will close deals, okay? And just a couple things to throw out here. The pitch is not a time to throw out every exciting feature of the product and why it's so great. This is a big, big mistake, guys, okay? Because nobody cares. This is not a time to throw out every feature of the product. Again, all we're doing is right here, tie value to the prospect's problem. We're not throwing out everything in the book to make them excited because they're not going to see the value. Okay, so the pitch should be back and forth dialogue, not a monologue, right? This is not a time to speak for 5 minutes straight. This is a back and forth dialogue. The pitch, if done right, should bring out any objections before asking for money. Remember, guys, we're tying the prospect down after every pillar of success. So if they have an objection, guess what they're going to say? When you say, hey, John, do you see the value in that? Do you think that's going to help you? He's going to say something like, well, you know what? I think I see the value in that. That's a no, guys. That's an objection waiting to happen. So you're going to solve it right in that instant. You're like, hey, John, let's talk about that a little bit. What do you mean by you kind of see the value? He said, well, I don't really understand how this is going to, do X, Z. Great. Hey, John, let me go back and let me explain it to you, right? Then you handle that objection during the pitch, right? And then the pitch, guys, ties down the prospect to your solution, so they must say yes. Every pillar, you tie the prospect down. You tie the prospect down, confirming they see the solution as a viable option. And I'm telling you guys, if you follow this system, you will pitch people so hard and they just will, at the end of the call, they will not be able to say no because you did your job as a closer. Okay. I hope this really helps, guys. Maybe watch this twice, but I'm telling you, this is the secret to pitching right here. It's a very simple 2-step formula. If you understand this, guys, it makes it so simple to pitch people and get them to buy. Okay. Hope that helps. And we will see you for the next video.